Listen carefully. Your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. For powers, for tools, for traps. Learn to control them and you become strong. Fail and you become weak. Most people hurt themselves before the world ever hurts them. Their mouth talks too much, telling secrets, making promises, and showing weakness. Their mind wanders, filled with things that don't matter and thoughts that make them doubt themselves. Their mood changes too much, leaving them stuck in anger, jealousy, or sadness. And their money, the little bit they have, gets spent on things that don't matter, bad habits, and showing off. This is why men stay powerless. They let things control them when they should be in control. They are prisoners to their own feelings. And the hard truth is, no army, no bully, no enemy can break a man faster than his own lack of self-control. But you are not here by accident. You came here because you know being soft is dangerous. Weakness is like a sickness, and control, cold, strong control, is the only cure. The moment you master these 4 things, mouth, mind, mood, money, you stop being a victim of what happens to you. You become the builder of your future. So mark your start. Comment this sentence right now. Control is power. Write it. Own it. Live it. 2. Control of the mind. Asterisk, asterisk, the second battle is the mind. If your mouth is the sword, your mind is the general. Without command, the strongest army is useless. Without discipline, the smartest mind destroys itself. Most men are prisoners of their own thoughts. They drown in overthinking, regrets from yesterday, daydreams about tomorrow. Their minds wander like confused soldiers, chasing distractions, obsessions, fantasies. A mind without control is not helpful. It is dangerous. To master your mind, you must become cold and picky. Choose your thoughts like a ruler chooses his helpers. Not every idea deserves your time. Not every fear deserves your energy. Ask, does this thought make me stronger or does it make me weaker? If it makes you weaker, destroy it quickly. Feed your mind with strategy, not noise. Study power. Study history. Study human nature. Fill your head with timeless tools, not silly gossip. The man who controls his focus controls his future. You cannot stop the storm of thoughts, but you can control which winds move your ship. Train daily. Direct your attention. Guard it like treasure, because the world is designed to steal it. A strong mind is not positive. It is disciplined, smart, and unbreakable. That is your advantage. If you understand, comment this sentence. My mind obeys me. Let the weak surrender to distraction. You will rule your own head. And when you rule your head, you can rule anything. 3. Control of the mouth. Asterisk, asterisk, the first battle is the mouth. Words are not just sounds. Words are money. Words are weapons. Words can make you king or drag you into the dirt. Weak people speak all the time. They leak their plans, their fears, their emotions, their every thought to anyone who will listen. And every word becomes ammunition for someone else to use against them. Smart leaders knew this. Silence is strategy. A sharp tongue should only be used when the strike matters. Control your mouth and you gain a cloak of mystery. People fear what they cannot read. They respect the man who does not explain himself, who does not waste his breath, who speaks only when the room must listen. Speak less and every word gains power. Speak carelessly and your power disappears. Do not argue with fools. Do not confess weakness. Do not reveal how big your dreams are until it is too late for anyone to stop you. Instead, learn to ask questions. Let others expose themselves. Their pride will do the work for you. In moments of anger, seal your mouth. One careless sentence can destroy friendships, trust, or opportunity forever. In moments of victory, still seal your mouth. Pride invites predators. Silence keeps them guessing. Your mouth should be a locked vault. When it opens, it must be with precision, with purpose, with force. A lion does not roar all day. It roars once, and the jungle trembles. If you understand this, write it in the comments right now. My silence is my sword. Let the world chatter. Let them bleed their power through endless words. You will stand still, controlled, unreadable, until the moment you choose to strike. 4. Control of the mood. Asterisk, asterisk, the third battle is your mood. Emotions are the strings by which most men are controlled like puppets. Anger, jealousy, despair, pride. These are the leashes the world uses to drag you where it wants. If you cannot master your moods, you will always be someone else's slave. Smart leaders wrote that a ruler must appear kind, faithful, caring, honest, and religious. But behind the mask, he must be capable of the opposite when necessary. This is not lying. It is strategy. Your mood, like your mask, must be chosen, not forced on you. Weak men explode when bothered. They rage, and in that rage they reveal their plans, burn their friendships, and lose control. Others collapse into sadness, letting weakness rot their spirit. Some grow drunk on success, blind to the dangers waiting in the shadows. All are predictable, and what is predictable can be controlled. To become untouchable, you must become unshakable. Anger must be a weapon, not a reflex. Use it rarely and only when it creates fear or obedience. Sadness must be stopped before it poisons your will. Pride must be cut before it blinds you. Joy must be restrained, for joy invites laziness. Control of mood does not mean becoming a cold machine. It means becoming the master actor. You feel emotion, but you decide if it is shown. You may burn inside, but your face stays calm. You may be tired, but your posture remains strong. Your mask is steel. Your mood invisible unless you allow it. This is how kings and generals bend men to their will. They never reveal the storm inside. They radiate command. They radiate certainty. And certainty enslaves the uncertain. Train this daily, in traffic, in arguments, in setbacks. Hold the mask. Each test is a sharpening stone. Each restraint builds your armor. A man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. A man who cannot be read cannot be manipulated. And a man whose mood is his servant becomes master of every room he enters. If this makes sense, carve it into the comments. I master my moods. Let the weak howl and break. You will be silent, steady, immovable, like iron in a world of clay. 5. Control of the money. The fourth battle is money. Most men worship it. Few control it. And because they worship it, they are ruled by it. Money is not merely paper. It is leverage. It is freedom. It is the silent blade that cuts deeper than any sword. Smart leaders understood that fortune favors the prepared. Wealth is not about treating yourself. It is about power. It funds your influence, your protection, your independence. It allows you to stand untouchable while others bend their knees for scraps. The average man spends to feel alive. He buys to impress. He wastes to numb the emptiness in his chest. His money owns him because his emotions own him. He thinks wealth is proof of status when in truth wealth is the weapon to secure status. He lives paycheck to paycheck, not because he lacks money, but because he lacks discipline. You must not be this man. Your money is your soldier. Every dollar must march with purpose. Every investment must sharpen your power. Do not waste resources on showing off, on trends, on temporary pleasures. Spend with strategy, not impulse. Build savings, not debts. The man with cash in hand controls the man who owes. And in a world of slaves to buying things, the one who resists becomes king. Control of money is not greed. It is foresight. It is the understanding that freedom cannot exist without financial control. A man who cannot walk away from any situation is not free. A man who depends on another for survival is not safe. And a man who shows off his wealth carelessly invites predators to feast. Learn to appear modest while building in silence. Let them see a simple man while in truth you are building a fortress of resources. Smart leaders advised rulers to avoid hatred and envy. Showed-off wealth breeds both. Hidden wealth breeds invincibility. Your money must serve your vision, not your ego. Use it to buy time, to buy knowledge, to buy opportunities. Use it to protect your legacy, to guard against betrayal, to outlast storms. A man who controls his money never bows. He decides when to strike because he can afford to wait. Remember this, true wealth is not shown. It is felt in the power to say no. To walk away, to remain untouchable. If this lesson speaks to you, stamp it into the comments. My money is my army. Repeat it. Believe it. Discipline every dollar until it fights for you. Control your money, and you control your life. Fail to control it, and you will forever be a pawn in someone else's game. 6. The art of masks and appearances. Power is never just about what you are. It is about what you appear to be. Understand this. Reality can change, but perception is law. The mask you wear will decide how the world treats you. Smart leaders taught that a ruler does not need to be kind, faithful, caring, honest, or religious. He only needs to appear that way. Why? Because people judge with their eyes, not with their thinking. They are drawn to surfaces, not substance. The mask is the weapon that blinds them, distracts them, manipulates them. The weak laugh at masks. They preach being real as if showing every flaw and emotion is noble. No, it is foolish. The man who exposes his raw self to the world invites attack. He is predictable, vulnerable, easy to take down. A man without a mask is a man without armor. Your mask must be created with precision. In public, you show what serves your purpose. In private, you remain who you truly are. The two are not the same. The mask protects the truth. And the truth, your real desires, your ambitions, your ruthlessness, stays hidden in the vault of your mind. When needed, you can appear humble to stop envy, appear kind to win loyalty, appear harmless to lower defenses, or appear ruthless to create fear. The power is not in being all of these things. It is in choosing which mask to wear and when. The mask also protects your weaknesses. If you are uncertain, you never show it. If you are hurt, you never reveal it. If you are tired, your posture does not break. People follow certainty, not confusion. If you cannot command your emotions, then command your mask. For the mask becomes the reality others believe. Even allies must see only what you decide. Why? Because friendships shift. Today's friend can be tomorrow's rival. The less they know, the safer you remain. Let them underestimate you. Let them think they've figured you out. Meanwhile, you are always 3 moves ahead. But do not mistake mask for lie. A mask is not about deception. It is about control. You decide what face to show the world. You decide how they interpret you. That is true freedom. That is true power. Think of history's most cunning leaders. They all wore masks. Caesar appeared as a servant of Rome while plotting for control. Napoleon appeared humble while calculating conquest. Every great ruler, every master strategist understood that power flows not just from the sword, but from the performance. You too must become a performer. The stage is life. The audience is everyone around you. And your mask is the role you choose to play. The man who refuses the stage is forgotten. The man who plays it well becomes legend. Train yourself in every interaction. Ask, what mask serves me here? What mask disarms? What mask inspires? What mask intimidates? Then wear it until it becomes second nature. Never forget, you cannot control how people feel, but you can control what they see, and what they see becomes their truth. If this strikes you, seal it in the comments. My mask is my weapon. Write it so you remember it. Let others wander naked in a world of daggers. You will walk armored in illusion, untouchable, unreadable, undeniable. 7. The cold psychology of power. **** Power is not given, it is taken. And to take it, you must understand the psychology that controls human beings. Not the surface psychology, the smiles, the pleasantries, the polite words. No, I'm speaking of the dark undercurrent, the brutal truths people are too weak to admit. This is the terrain of cold psychology. Here is the first law. People are driven by fear more than love. Smart leaders themselves declared, it is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fragile, inconsistent, emotional. It fades with moods. Fear, however, is constant. Fear creates boundaries. Fear ensures respect even when loyalty fails. To wield power, you must not chase affection. You must radiate a presence that demands calculation. If I cross this man, I will pay. The second law, people are selfish. Every action, no matter how noble it appears, serves an interest. Understand this, and you will never be surprised. Appeals to fairness or morality are illusions. The strong manipulate these illusions to control the herd. When you negotiate, when you persuade, when you command, always ask, what does this person want? How can I make their desires serve me? The third law, people believe appearances over reality. They would rather be lied to beautifully than faced with harsh truth. This is why masks matter. This is why perception matters. Truth is heavy, but illusion is attractive. A skilled player of power does not argue reality. He paints it. He makes people see what he wants them to see. And once they believe, their actions follow. The fourth law, people are predictable when emotional. Rage, jealousy, greed, lust, these are the levers that control the masses like puppets. If you can trigger emotion, you can control behavior. If you can remain unemotional while others burn with feeling, you will always hold the high ground. Cold psychology means mastering your own impulses while exploiting theirs. The fifth law, loyalty is rare and often temporary. People shift with advantage. Allies today may betray tomorrow if the wind changes. Never place blind faith in loyalty. Expect betrayal. Prepare for it, and design systems that make betrayal costly. Keep people dependent on you, and their loyalty will endure. The sixth law, weakness invites attack. In the wild, predators strike at the wounded. In society, the same principle holds. Show too much vulnerability and vultures will circle. This does not mean you cannot ever fail. It means your failures must never look like weakness. Even in loss, you must project control. The moment people sense you are breakable, they will test the cracks. The seventh law. Manipulation is neither good nor evil. It is nature. Every advertisement manipulates. Every politician manipulates. Every relationship at some level manipulates. The question is not whether you will manipulate, but whether you will do so consciously or be manipulated yourself. Cold psychology demands awareness. You either play the game or you are played. And here lies the heart of strategic thinking. Power is about control of perception, of resources, of people, of yourself. But above all, it is about control of reality. To others, the world may seem chaotic. To you, it must be clay, shaped by your will. Do not confuse cold psychology with cruelty. It is not about needless harm. It is about strategy. A ruthless leader does not waste energy on petty meanness. He chooses when to strike and when to stay still. His cruelty is precise, not sloppy. His mercy is calculated, not naive. He acts not from impulse, but from outcome. Imagine the power of becoming such a man. One who cannot be provoked, who cannot be deceived, who cannot be broken. A man who sees through others while remaining unreadable himself. A man who plays the game of power with a calm, steady hand while the rest flail in emotion and illusion. That is what cold psychology forges. If you have followed this far, etch it in the comments. I see through the game. Declare it, because once you see you can never unsee, and once you understand you are no longer a pawn, you are the one moving the pieces. 8. The discipline of isolation and strategy. *** Power requires clarity. And clarity is impossible if you are drowning in noise, in endless chatter, in the constant pull of weak men and weaker distractions. This is why every man who seeks to become untouchable must master isolation. Not loneliness, not withdrawal, but disciplined strategic isolation. Understand this. Most people fear being alone because solitude forces them to face themselves. And for many, what they see is weakness. They would rather hide in crowds, fill their silence with distractions, or numb themselves with silly pleasures. But isolation, when embraced with discipline, becomes the forge of greatness. It is in silence that strategy is born. It is in solitude that focus is sharpened. Smart leaders observed rulers in their courts. He knew that while appearances and friendships mattered, the true strength of a leader came from his ability to think in isolation, to prepare when others rested, to design moves that no one else could anticipate. A mind always surrounded by noise cannot plan. A man always seeking company cannot rule himself. Discipline of isolation means creating space where no one else's voice drowns out your own. It means cutting the strings of dependency. It means being able to sit in silence with your ambitions, your calculations, your darkest truths, and not flinch. Because if you cannot command yourself in solitude, how can you command others in the arena of power? But isolation is not enough. It must be paired with strategy. Isolation sharpens the blade. Strategy decides where to strike. Most men wander through life reacting to events, scrambling after opportunities, living at the mercy of chance. A strategic mind does not wander. It designs. Strategy is the blueprint of power. It is the ability to see not only the next step, but the 10 steps ahead. Think of a general before battle. He does not merely charge. He studies the terrain, anticipates the enemy, calculates the weather, the morale, the supply lines. He knows that victory is not won in the clash of swords, but in the planning that happens before the first strike. Life is no different. Those who plan dominate those who drift. Your strategy must begin with brutal honesty. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What resources do you command? What enemies exist? What allies can be used? And how long can they be trusted? Ask these questions in your solitude, and do not lie to yourself. A man who flatters himself is already defeated. Then build your moves. Design your life as a chessboard. Where will you invest your time, your energy, your money? What friendships will you form? What appearances will you project? How will you adapt when fortune shifts? Because fortune always shifts. Smart leaders warn that fortune is like a flood. It cannot be stopped, but it can be redirected. Only the man with strategy survives the storm intact. Discipline of isolation also protects you from the poison of the crowd. The herd lives by impulse. They rage, they panic, they gossip, they waste. If you are too close, their chaos infects you. If you step back, you see patterns they cannot see. And from this distance, you can manipulate their energy while never being consumed by it. Do not mistake this for permanent withdrawal. Strategy demands engagement. But you must engage on your terms, not theirs. Enter the crowd like a king visiting his subjects, briefly, with purpose, always maintaining distance. Then retreat to your fortress of isolation to sharpen your plans. This is why great leaders, emperors, generals, visionaries, always had chambers, retreats, inner circles. They were never endlessly accessible. Their power depended on their ability to withdraw, calculate, and then return with decisive moves. You must model the same discipline. Remember this: a man who cannot stand alone will never stand above. A man who cannot plan in silence will never command in chaos. Isolation without strategy makes you a hermit. Strategy without isolation makes you reckless. Combined, they make you untouchable. If you understand this, mark your commitment in the comments. My isolation builds my empire. Write it. Own it. Because while the masses waste themselves in noise, you will retreat, design, and return with precision. Isolation is your shield. Strategy is your sword. Together they ensure you never kneel, never drift, never bow. You will not be carried by chance. You will carve your destiny with cold calculation. And that, above all, is the discipline of the untouchable. 9. The final transformation, becoming untouchable. ***, everything we have covered. Control of the mouth, mind, mood, money, mastery of masks, cold psychology, the discipline of isolation and strategy. Leads here. Transformation. The forging of a man who is untouchable. Not invincible, not immune to pain, but untouchable in spirit, in will, in power. What does it mean to be untouchable? It means you move through the world as an iron figure wrapped in shadows. Your mouth speaks only with precision. Your mind obeys your command. Your mood bends to your will. Your money fights for you. Your mask confuses your enemies. Your psychology reads others like glass. Your solitude feeds your clarity. Your strategy ensures your dominance. 10. The call to power. ***, this is the final step. The culmination of every lesson. The mouth, the mind, the mood, the money, the mask, the psychology, the isolation, the strategy, and the transformation. Everything comes together here, the call to power. Understand this. The world is not built for the strong to rest. The world is built as a battlefield where the weak are consumed, manipulated, and discarded. Every day you wake up, you are either commanding or being commanded. There is no neutral ground. You are either the hunter or the hunted. And yet most men choose slavery without realizing it. They talk without control, and their words betray them. They think without control, and their mind sabotages them. They feel without control, and their moods enslave them. They spend without control, and their money evaporates. They live maskless, naked before predators. They are pushed by fortune, crushed by chance, broken by the slightest storm. These are the men who cry, who beg, who gossip, who envy. These are the men forgotten. But you, if you've listened this far, you are not meant to be forgotten. You are here because deep down you know softness is not your destiny. You know there is steel inside you waiting to be forged. You know the world respects only one thing, power, and you are ready to claim it. This does not mean showing yourself off as some tyrant. Power is not about screaming or bragging or flexing to the crowd. That is weakness in disguise. True power is quiet. True power is control. It is the man who can walk into chaos and remain calm. The man who speaks little, but when he does, the room falls silent. The man who does not need approval because he approves of himself. The call to power is not just for kings and rulers. It is for every man who wants freedom. Freedom from manipulation. Freedom from weakness. Freedom from the endless chains of distraction, dependence, and defeat. To be untouchable is to be free. And to be free is to be powerful. The path will not be easy. You will lose friends who cannot understand your discipline. You will face resistance from those who benefit from your weakness. You will be mocked by the herd because your refusal to kneel threatens their comfort. But remember this: the lion is not disturbed by the barking of dogs. Stay the course. When you stumble, return to the principles. Control your mouth. Control your mind. Control your mood. Control your money. Wear the mask. Study cold psychology. Embrace isolation. Build strategy. Transform yourself. Do this daily. Small control leads to absolute power. And here is the truth: most will not make it. They will listen, nod, maybe even comment, but they will not live it. Discipline is too hard. Comfort is too easy. They will fall back into weakness. But you have a choice. You can step beyond them. You can take these lessons and carve yourself into a weapon, a fortress, a ruler of your own destiny. So I ask you, what kind of man will you be? Another pawn in the crowd, endlessly distracted, endlessly consumed, or the one who rises above, untouchable, unforgettable, undeniable? If you are ready, claim it now in the comments. I answer the call to power. Write it as a declaration, as a contract with yourself. And remember this, power is not a dream. Power is not a gift. Power is built brick by brick, choice by choice, discipline by discipline. Start today. Start with silence. Start with control. Start with one decision that proves you are no longer weak. This is your training ground, your forge, your start into a life most men will never taste, but only if you act. So before you go, remember to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This fortress is being built stronger every day, and you are part of it. Now step forward, discipline yourself, harden yourself, mask yourself, strategize, rule yourself first, and soon you will rule much more. The call to power has been made. The question is, will you answer? An untouchable man does not fear loss. He does not chase approval. He does not beg for recognition. Why? Because his worth is internal, forged in discipline, not borrowed from applause. When the world tries to shame him, he does not flinch. When the mob demands conformity, he does not kneel. When fortune shifts, he does not collapse. He adapts, waits, and strikes again. The untouchable man is not reckless. He is deliberate. His silence unnerves. His calm presence commands attention. His enemies cannot predict him because his emotions do not betray him. His allies cannot fully grasp him because his masks conceal his core. And those who would strike him hesitate because every strike risks payback more brutal than they can endure. But here is the paradox. The untouchable man is not loud. He does not need to constantly show his strength. He does not boast, does not overshare, does not show off. He lets his control radiate without words. True power is quiet. True strength is invisible until revealed. The moment you must prove yourself to everyone, you've already lost. To become untouchable, you must live with duality. Outwardly you are approachable, disciplined, calm. Inwardly you are ruthless, calculating, prepared for war. Outwardly you may extend kindness. Inwardly you measure every relationship like a contract. What value does it bring? And when will it expire? Outwardly you may smile. Inwardly you are 3 moves ahead. This duality confuses the weak. They cannot categorize you. They want to know, are you kind or cruel? Are you loyal or selfish? Are you humble or proud? The answer is simple. You are what you decide to be in the moment that serves you best. Untouchable men are fluid, never chained to one identity. They are adaptable, but never without principle. The principle is control. Smart leaders warn that a prince must be both fox and lion. Cunning enough to spot traps, strong enough to crush enemies. The untouchable man embodies both. He can shift between subtle manipulation and open dominance, depending on what the situation demands. Too much lion, and you become predictable. Too much fox, and you lose respect. Balance both and you rule. The untouchable man also understands time. He does not rush every opportunity. He does not exhaust himself in constant motion. He knows that patience is as deadly as aggression. He can wait years if necessary, building quietly, striking only when the outcome is assured. Fortune belongs to those who can endure silence longer than others can endure chaos. And finally, legacy. The untouchable man does not live only for the present moment. He builds foundations that endure. His discipline with money secures his independence. His control of mood ensures stability in crisis. His mastery of masks keeps his enemies guessing long after he is gone. His strategies outlive his presence, influencing systems, friendships, and structures. His power is not just personal. It becomes structural. Ask yourself, will you be remembered as another man who chased distractions, wasted time, and died forgotten? Or will you be remembered as the man who built himself into something iron, something immovable, something untouchable? This is the transformation, from reactive to deliberate, from emotional to calculating, from ordinary to formidable. The world will not hand it to you. You must forge it piece by piece, control by control, cut by cut. And when you reach that point, when you walk into any room and know that no insult can shake you, no temptation can blind you, no setback can break you, you will feel it. The quiet certainty, the cold calm, the unshakable presence. That is when you will know you are untouchable. If you understand, seal it in the comments. I am untouchable. Declare it, own it, breathe it. Because transformation is not theory. It is action.